after you get excited initially about knowing your Hebrew and you're researching, and I was so excited. I did the teachings and stuff. And then I'm like, you still want to know what else is out there, not just pictures from people on YouTube. And since I'm like the kind of geek personality, I wanted to find different books and, you know, that actually confirm that the Jews are Black people. I'm sorry, I just needed to, you know. So I did find a couple things. All right, so I have two things for you. I have our notes I'm gonna follow with, and I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'm gonna be sharing. Okay, and I'm even gonna do it on a slideshow from current slides. And so we're just gonna look through some literature and things that I have found. And I'm gonna see if I can get rid of your faces. Can you guys see yourselves on my screen?
No.
No.
Okay, let me see. How can I? Good. All right. I just got rid of my things. Okay, so most everybody know the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and its definition that the children of Ham are not the Negroes, correct?
Correct.
So when you look into a book like The History of the Jews, Volume 4, and page 63, and it tells you that Pope Pius V, by nature a sinister ecclesiastic, meaning ecclesiastic is another word for religion. So that's one of the key factors that controllers must control, is the ecclesiastic sector of society, which is the religious sector. So he was a religious freak who delighted in persecution, just a freak. He treated Jews as the cursed children of Ham. And when I saw that, I go, ah, so that's recorded in the History of the Jews, Volume 4, page 653. You guys may want to take notes if I didn't put that on your notes. Just so you can, anything I show you is not a secret. It's stuff for you to like, wow, thanks for bringing that to my attention. Okay, and everybody should be familiar with that. With this screen, I am going to see if I can put my camera on myself, not just live. Okay. This book is a book by a Jewish guy. His name is Maurice Fishberg, and he's talking about the different kind of Jews, the cultures of different kind of Jews, and he gives a definition of a Jew, and he says he's talking about the Negroed type among Jews is yet to be mentioned. One occasionally meets with a Jew whose skin is very dark, the black and woolly, the head long with a prominent occiput, don't know what that is, you know, but the face is progenthious, the two jaws are projecting in the form of a muzzle, the lips are thick, large, thick, upturned, nose flat, broad, and wings turn up so that the nostrils can be seen profiled. Anyway, this Negro type can be singled out in a large assembly of Jews. Okay, Well, naturally, because we are Jews and we are Judah. So that book, if that's not on your note, write it down, page 125. And then we have more modern authors, Hebrewism of West Africa. And this was interesting to me because I was born in Jamaica. So it says the Hebrewism of Jamaica, of African derivative, are not confined to Jamaica among the Western Islands. And he's quoting an author called Blair Niles. He wrote a book called Black Haiti. And she said, some said to be descendants of Jews mixed with Negroes. So actually he's quoting a white author. Her name is Blair Niles. And of course she thinks all Jews are white. So if you're Jews, you have to be mixed with Negro, you know? So that's that. Just want to make sure I didn't go too fast. And of course it's in Spanish. So whoever speaks Spanish, Jackie. World. This is out of publication, but it's talking about naturally. This is the time when Darwinism was big, and if any scholar is on board with Darwinism and stuff, so people were talking about phenotypes and genotypes and, you know, evolution. And so it's like a big deal to find out who these different races are. So this particular author writes, the Jews are comprised of 4 separate racial elements. The Jewish hybrid with Negro in Jamaica reproduces the Assyrian type. You know, so actually says, and Guinea reproduces most strikingly with the Assyrian type. So this is just some of the books that I find to just confirm to me. And of course, we got a book, Nature Knows No Color Line. This book you can download, by the way. So if you write this down, you can actually download this book, Nature Knows No Color Line. And it says, many of the Jews who are banished from Portugal by John II went to the West Indies. Stop right there. Banished by Portugal, that was in the 1400s, like right around when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, because that's when the Moors were conquered by the white Europeans, and they kicked out all the Jews. So this person is saying that John Bigelow, he visited Jamaica in 1850, and he said that the descendants of these Jews, he saw the descendants of these Jews and said that they were Negroid. And maybe I need to stop right there and go to, I'm gonna go to some notes. So I'm gonna say, stop share just for a minute, okay? And I'm gonna go back and give you some notes. Let's see what else I have for you. Okay, so I'm going back to the notes because I wanna talk a little bit about the Moors. What we just talked about, 1492, what was happening in Portugal and Spain particularly. And we're going to go over something now. But I want to read something that, that I found. And I actually have the reference at the bottom. It says, the Jews, here, I'm gonna highlight it if you can see my screen. Okay, and these are in your notes as well. This is talking about the way that the Moors, who were blacks, treated Jews who are blacks or converts, right? So the Jews in West Barbary are completely under the Moors as if they were slaves. They were forced to live in a town by themselves called El Milia, and the Moors entered whenever they choose without the smallest restraint and go into houses without any ceremony, where they take whatever liberties they please with their wives and daughters. Should a Jew attempt to resist the Moor on any occasion, he is sure to get a sound drubbing, as his testimony cannot be taken against the Moor any more than a Negro slave in the West Indies or southern states of America can be given against a white man. Okay, hold on. Someone else just came in, I gotta admit. Okay, so against the white man. Okay, he is forced to pocket every affront and content himself with getting all the money he can from the intruder. He makes no scruple of offerings for money, their wives and daughters who are voluptuous to the extreme. So right here, he's saying that the Jewish women are packed, very voluptuous to the extreme. And here you have the Moors who are going in and pretty much doing the KKK thing on the Jews. Okay. Now, why is this interesting, guys? And this is the reason why I switched to the screen, is because history ties the Moors into Canaan and into Israel, specifically the tribe of Asher. Okay, so there are some who actually teach that the Moors, and here, I'm going to show you some reasoning why there are some scholars who teach that the Moors are Jewish. Okay, so this could be Jew on Jew crime, like we got black and black crime. Okay, so follow me. All right, so here we got a map of Israel. Okay, if you can see, this is the older map of the Phoenician states. All right, so right here it says Phoenician state. Look to the top. If you look over here, oh, by the way, look at the Phoenician state. It's small. All right, but you can see Tyre, you can see Sidon, you can see Beirut and Bilbos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you see the kingdom of Israel is cut off on that Phoenician map. But if you look at this map, the kingdom of Israel extend up to Phoenicia. In fact, you can see that little thing called Tyre.
Mm-hmm.
So when I compare the two like this, you can see Phoenicia, which is actually Canaan, that the children of Israel actually genocide the Canaanites. Let's be for real. So they genocide the Canaanites, annex their land, and these are Phoenicians. So now there is a relationship between the Phoenicians and Israel, the tribe of Asher. So I'm gonna go further. Does everybody cool with that? Me showing you that relationship?
Yeah.
Sum it up again, Mara. So the relationship is what?
Okay. The Moors, who ruled Europe for 700 years, some scholars say that they are Phoenicians, which is another word for Canaanites, because this is the land of Canaan that that Israel took over. So if you look at the Phoenician states on the map on my right, and you look at the Israel map on the left, my left, it says Asher.
Mm-hmm.
So the tribe of Asher has annexed the Phoenician territory.
And took over their land.
Yeah. So you have Canaanite, Israelite mixed. So you have Jews up in there, the tribe of Asher. So when you see Phoenician, think Jewish in a sense, okay? So then I'm gonna bring this up a little. And then when you read scriptures, you have, and there on the map is Phoenicia, Tyre, and think of, when you look at that, think of that as Israel territory. But these are Phoenician cities, right? So right below Tyre is Israel. So Isaiah is prophesying against Tyre. And it says, this is an oracle Tyre. Oh, wail, O ships of Tarshish. For Tyre is laid waste without house or harbor. Word is reached, the land has reached the land of Cyprus. Now, why is that interesting? Let me see if I'm gonna do this, see if I have the map of the Phoenicians. Nope. Phoenicians, by the way, are known for their being expert sailors and sailing. And hence, that's one of the reasons it's stipulated that they are the Moors that conquered Spain and Portugal, going over that Rock of Gibraltar thing. So if you know Jesus's words in Luke, when he says, woe to thee, Chorazin, woe to thee, Bethsaida, for if the mighty works have been done in Tyre and Sidon, which have been done in you, they had a great while ago repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes. So the Phoenicians, these Moors, are all over the scripture and very related to Israel. So when here is a Phoenician bust founded in Spain. Well, where else are you gonna find the Phoenician bust in Spain? Because they were there for 700 years. So this is actually in the Museum of Cadiz in Spain. Okay. So the Spanish Inquisition, which is pretty much the overthrow of the black Jews or the black Moors or whatever mix you have in between, the overthrow of the blacks. There is a book, by the way, called The Accurate Description of the New World. And on page 574, the author said, he said, the said king, referring to John III, the king of Portugal, sold all the Jews for slaves. And this book is actually here. If you want to buy the book, it's $58,000. But here's the book. I know, a trip. So here's the book. It's the Can you guys hear this? No. Can you hear the video?
No.
No.
Okay, if you can't hear it, I'm just going to show you the book. So I'm going to show you the book. Hold on. Okay, so that's the book. This is a famous picture, by the way. The picture on the left, you can see the Black America. The black here. You see that? That's a picture of the Americans in the book.
I think so. No.
You gotta share it, Mom.
Yeah, so I got the link. I'm going to send you if you can't see it, but that's a picture of the Black American in the book. It's in the Library of Congress. This is different things she's showing in the book. I'm just going to go over this real quick because you guys can't hear it. But if you can't hear it, at least you can get a little glimpse of the book, and I will send you the link.
I seen the book on YouTube.
Yeah. So
It's real good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna close the link off. Here, I'm gonna close it off. There it is. So that's the book. But just to find that information from the book that's saying that the Jews, that, you know, the Inquisition, pretty much the so-called Jewish Inquisition, were really expelling the Black Jews. And this is where Pope Pius would treat the Jews like the children of Ham and send them to Portugal. And they end up in Africa and in the West Indies. So, yeah, so here it is. They end up in Guinea, Angola, and in St. Thomas, and as the other book says, in Jamaica. So, so that's kind of how Europe became white. And a lot of us from these African and island countries, it just shows where we migrate. How we didn't migrate, we were just expelled. Okay, so here's another thing I found. I'm going to go back to my slide that tells you that Elizabeth I in 1596 and then 1601, two different periods, expelled all the niggers and blackamoors from England, Wales, and Ireland. It would appear that many who were servants or slaves were resold to other countries. So this writing lets you know two things. This is just me, okay? You got the niggers and you got the blackamoors. Anybody want to contribute their idea as to why that would be?
Why what would be?
Why the writing, why this woman would refer to the niggers and the blackamoors being expelled.
Because you got Jews, you got Israelites and Moors, two separate people.
Yeah, you got the niggers, who are definitely the niggers, Jews, and the blackamoors, who are the Phoenicians, you know, and they got Jews too. By the way, that is from a book called The American Discovery of Europe by Jack Forbes on page 175. So if this is not in your notes, please take a note of it. The American Discovery of Europe by Jack Forbes, page 175. From that theory. Yeah. So everybody has these notes. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. . And we talked, so this is how, so let's go back and relate what we talked about to this slide, that it said many of the Jews who were banished from Portugal by John II settled in the West Indies. So now we know that the Jews and the Moors that were banished during the Jewish Inquisition and just the overthrow of Europe from black hands to white hands were sent everywhere, and some were settled in the West Indies. And then John Bigelow, who visited Jamaica in 1850, he said the descendants of these Jews, their descendants were these Jews, and that they were Negroids. And that's the nature knows no color line. Okay. Did I lose anybody?
No.
Okay, I wanted to tie in the Moors and how a lot of us got to Jamaica and the islands and Africa from that. Okay. This one I found earlier on, and this one is new to me. I don't know if it's new to you, but this is the Journal of a Resident in Ashanti. I actually ordered this journal. There is a company that sells books that are out of print, and they reprint them, and this was one of them. So I ordered this book. So anyway, it talks about the Jews of Sudan. And I was happy to hear that because it tells you here in the 1892 Chambers Encyclopedia, Dictionary of Universal Knowledge, Volume 9, that Sudan is the home of the true Negro race. So when it says the Jews of Sudan, I know that Sudan is the home of the true Negro race, which is actually like clear half of West Africa. So in fact, it says here that they were referred to as Yehudi or Judah. Right there. Okay, so I'm gonna, next slide. Hey, if I'm going too fast, let me know. So here we have a book by Maurice Fishberg. We mentioned him already.
You gotta share.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You gotta share the screen. We're not seeing it.
Oh, you're not seeing it?
We're still on Jews in the Caribbean, number 3.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna change the slide. Hold on. All right, how is that?
Good.
Yeah, we see that.
Okay, thank you. Make sure you catch me. Thank you, Jacqueline. Okay, so here it is, the Jews of Sudan, the Journal of the Ashanti. And then here is the dictionary at the bottom that tells you the 1892 dictionary, Chambers Encyclopedia Dictionary of Universal Knowledge, Volume 9, actually tells you that Sudan is the home of the true Negro race. So these Jews who are called Yehudi, there it is. So that was a find. So the Journal of Residents in Ashanti, comprising notes and research relative to the, I don't know what the rest of that is, but that's enough to Google. You can actually purchase this book from that company, and that's page 106. All right.
How much do they charge?
It wasn't expensive. It's a company that actually reprints a lot of these old out of print books. Like that's their business.
You put
Yes.
their website.
Yeah, just so. I couldn't bring a lot of my library to Costa Rica, but I did bring some precious few. Okay, so has everybody seen the new slide?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Good, good. So on page 49 of this book, it says, it is stated that the Phoenicians are not the only Jews of the Negro race. Bastian speaks of Negro Jews living on the Loango coast in Western Africa. They are called the Mavambu or the Judeos. You know. So, and at the bottom it says, the most curious class of Negro Jews is said to have existed in Jamaica and Suriname. Man, guys, one day I'll tell you how I actually got woke through a dream. And the more I find out how Jews are so connected to Jamaica, I was like, oh my God, now I know what's going on. Thank you, Father. All right, so here it is, back to the Journal of the Ashanti. This is a white guy who actually lived in West Africa among the Ashanti people for a while. And that's why he did this book. So, you know, he was saying these tribes, whether Hebrews or African, wandered, it is believed, from the neighborhood of Upper Egypt while the children of Israel were held in captivity. So he is saying that these people, the Ashantis, are people from the captivity who wandered from Israel. At least that's the story they tell him. You know, like they're the Israelites, and through captivity they wandered from Israel. And so we've heard, if you are, you know, I think everybody here has had some background knowledge of our history roots, that how we traveled from Israel. Well, this is a documentation from the people themselves giving their testimony to this guy, saying that they're Hebrews and they wander from the neighborhood of Upper Egypt, which is AKA our neighborhood, while they were in captivity. So that was a good find. Okay. This one goes back to John Olgaby, just confirming that the Jews in Spain were sent to Guinea, Angola, and St. Thomas. This one we covered already, even though I didn't have a picture of the original print. This is from the book, the image from the book itself. Okay, we did that. Okay, no, oh, I didn't go too fast, but we did this one. Everybody knows that one, so I'm gonna go down. All right, now this one. Oh my gosh, this is a good one. And I know that I have another slide where I give credit, where credit is due to the one of our own scholars who discovered this. And if it wasn't for his discovery, I wouldn't have known it, because everything else is an original discovery. This one I discovered from someone else discovering it and pretty much sharing it with us. This is from the Sanhedrin 94a. This is from the Talmud itself. So for those who don't know, the Talmud is the holy writings, kind of like the Bible, with the Jewish sages keep their writing in. Like the Bible have the prophets of Israel, Jeremiah, Joel, Hosea, etc. The Talmud has the writings of the Jewish sages. All right, and this is from their Talmud, and they said that Sennacherib, when he exiled the 12 tribes, which we read about in Chronicles and First Kings, he exiled them to Africa. There it is right here. So in their Talmud, it actually tells where they exiled them to. And another place we went to is the Selug Mountains, which I forgot where that is, but I think it's beside the Black Sea. I saw the writing and that's what I saw. Okay, so here is a cool book. I don't think this is in your notes because after I sent the notes, I was working on, making the slides match the notes and stuff like that. But this book is the Jewish Expositor, okay, and Friend of Israel. It's actually a composite of different journals or letters or anything regarding Israel. And so you have different sections from different people. So they would say, dear editor or dear something, and then they would contribute. So this one is contributions concerning the American Israel, the American Indians as Israelites. And so this is on page 33 to 38, so it's 5 pages, and it talks about the history of the American Indians, and by James Adair. He was a trader with the Indians, and he resided there for 40 years, right? And of course, people said, after a long time trading, I was forced to believe that them lineally descended from the Israelites. So they had the 9 tribes and a half of Israel were carried off by Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and settled in Media, continued there long. It's very probable, he's very saying that they ended up in the Americas. You guys need a time to read that? So I'll just shut up.
Awesome.
Yeah, it says, by the way, the book of Ezra confirmed, matches the theory that the American Indians came here when the Assyrian king captive them and pretty much took down Israel, period, and only left the southern tribe. And they came to the Americas. So here it still continues to talk about the relationship between them and being Jews. And actually, the whole Americans, it's not just US, Mexico, Central America, South America, all of those people. There's history to substantiate that they are of the northern tribe of Israel.
Mm. Wow. Mm. This can be a bit overwhelming.
Well, it's at least it's an introduction.
Yes. Wow.
So, and then you have other explorers like Captain Cook or Giovanni, the Italian explorer, Giovanni de Varazza. I just totally butchered these people, who have journals to confirm that evening Americans, the Carolina Indian, he's black, like the Ethiopian, not like the Ethiopian in that their hair is black and thick, physically well portioned, broad chest, strong arms, and I remember in a dictionary that I got, and I have it somewhere, that says that the Indians are copper-colored people. So when you see white Indians, like a lot of the people who are white Indians, they're not real Indians. What happened in history, so I'm just gonna stop and tell you this. The United States government was giving away land to Indians, right? Crap land, but they were still giving away like a gazillion acreage back in the day, right? Well, the whites wanted the land, and so they would pay $5 to the representative of the government to be American Indians and get the land. So that's how they got the land. They were $5 Indians. So the white man actually stole the land and stole the ancestry. So a lot of whites, I remember reading this white man, he was shocked. He did his DNA and he was all European. And he couldn't figure it out because as long as he knew, he was American Indian. So, but he was a $5 Indian.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so here's another, I'm gonna go ahead real quick because I gotta show you something. Let me see if I can go back into your notes. We talked about Asian people, they're Asiatic. And so when you see like a museum like the Oriental Asiatic, Asiatics, it's all about Black people. So this is basically if you have Israel, Assyria, all of that land, the Euphrates going into India, southern India, China, all of this. This is Black people territory. Okay, and so this is kind of places where Israelites were banished to if you are in captivity, like from the like they said in this case, King Sargon. So, but to let you know, there's a nice Oriental museum in Chicago, and when I lived there, I didn't even know it. You know, I didn't know it was a Black people museum. I totally missed it. Didn't know.
Where?
In Chicago. Yeah, I would pass it all the time and had no interest. Didn't know. Okay, so I know that we all know that the Jews are converts, but I found this writing that little book, and this is actually Russian papers, and they are papers that's pretty much telling the, outlining the rights of the Jewish converts. So it says, we're happy to be able to submit to our readers an entire copy of the late ukase of the Emperor of Russia on behalf of converted Jews, literally translated from the German. So here in this book, beginning page 384, it actually outlined government papers that were specifically to the Jewish converts. So here you have other documentation from the government confirming that these Russian Jews are converts.
Mm.
Okay.
Exactly. Mm.
Mm. Yeah, so there, I'm just saying, there it is. Legal documents, government documents. Yeah. And
Wow.
here, this is also in the Jewish expositor. There is an explorer, his name is Riley, and he travels to these cities that I don't know where they are. but he was in Jerusalem. And he said that he spoke with a priest, and the priest spoke Spanish. And he talked, the priest tell him about, you know, who inhabited Jerusalem. He said like 30,000 Turks, 20,000 Jews, Armenians, and Greeks, and that there is a brisk trade that's been carried on there mainly by the Jews. And they trade with Persia, Constantinople, Jaffa, and all of that, right? And of course, they pay tribute to the government, the Grand Seigneur. But check it out. Check out the language that these Jews spoke in Jerusalem. Espanol.
Mm.
I knew Jacqueline would be like, Hey, what's your tribe, baby?
Zebulon.
Zebulon. When I read that, I was like, I know one person is gonna be, woo-hoo, go Zebulon.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought you'd be like, So there was a time where the predominant language of Jerusalem among Jews was not Hebrew, but Spanish.
Mm.
Yeah, so here's a picture of fairly modern picture of relatively speaking of Sephardic Jews. Yeah. Moorish ancestry. That's where they are. So, of course, the Bible itself records, and people with a, you know, with a background, I'm sure everybody has seen this picture on the right, but on the left, I found this picture because it actually shows you how large this exhibition is in the British Museum. So I wanted to show you this, that King Sennacherib, as recorded in 2nd Chronicles 32:9, when he overthrew Israel, northern tribe, and he was so proud of it. This was a grand relief. It wasn't just a little thing, because the one on the right is the only one we know. So I just wanted to show, I mean, I was impressed how big it is. Okay, and this is a sketch of King Sennacherib's palace. And this is the king who overthrew, final overthrow of the tribe of the northern tribes of Israel, brought them here. They came from here to the Americas, and it's within this palace, sketch done based off of the ruins, that we have this room within that palace. So this one is transcript from the Black Jews, and this one is one primal language. And what I'm missing here is a full title. So what I would do if I was you, I would put one primal language and put some keywords in if you're taking notes. But I want to read this to you. This is where they talked about the Jews of Malabar and the Jews at Cochin, which is India. And yeah, I got a video about even the Cochin Indians. They're from India. So those are part of the Asia Orientals. And they have 2 Torah scrolls, and these Torah scrolls were in goat skin. dyed goat skin, the manuscript, and the Jews from the Cochin community, which are Indian Jews, trace back. Now those, I believe everything in me that they are from the lost tribe of Israel, from everything I read about them. So you got white Jews from India who don't have a past, and they rival with the dark-skinned Indian Jews who have their own Torah scrolls from antiquity to show who they are. Just making a point. Okay, so here, same author, he wrote that the largest scroll can be a history of the Jews of Cochin and Malabar from the time of the Babylonian captivity down to the successive settlements of the Portuguese, the Dutch, and the English in Indonesian. So they actually have their Torah scrolls in goat skin from antiquity, Bible times, from when King Sennacherib, we just saw his palace, kicked them out until colonial times. How deep is that?
Very.
Hold on, I gotta repeat this.
I got to go.
These Indian Jews, the Jews of Cochin, they have their original Torah scrolls on goat skin from antiquity. From when Sennacherib kicked them out, the northern tribe, until colonial era.
Wow.
I'm just saying, it just boggles my mind. Just boggles my mind. Okay, so this, naturally you guys can't hear it, but it's not gonna stop me from talking through it. Okay, so the Cochin Jews, so this is what's going on. The Cochin Jews, which is not these people, by the way, the Cochin Jews are not, they are all migrating to Jerusalem, right? This is the sad story. So there is no more Cochin Jews in the last synagogue. So since they don't have 10 people to have a meeting, which is kind of in their, Torah or their Talmud, you need 10 people to have a meeting of men. So they're not meeting. And because they're not meeting, nobody's using the synagogue. So this Indian Jew, look at this amazing. Wow. So this Indian Jew met another European Jew, and the European Jew went back and said, you know what? We're going to get a whole bunch of Jews to come back to your synagogue, and we're going to meet together. So that's why they're here having like a historic meeting in the synagogue of Cochin. So this Indian guy, here he is, this Indian man, he is like one of the last few. It's a trip. I'm sorry, people. So here you have these Jews who have kept themselves and their culture and their Torah from Assyrian days. This is before Babylonian captivity, by the way. This is pre-Babylonian captivity. This is how long they have kept their Torah. From pre-Babylonian captivity till colonial times, and now ain't nobody there.
Wow.
They have drank the Kool-Aid and have gone to Jerusalem. Yeah, which the Bible says stay out of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is currently trampled down by the Gentiles. Yeah. So Anyway.
Mm.
All is well. You
You
got
know,
your point across.
man. So here in this book, this is just more substantiation that the blacks of Portugal, that they sent to Africa and all over, and the Jewish Inquisition are black people. Thus, the black color is found not only in individuals as the black Jews of Portugal, but in tribes as the Bikras on the Red Sea. Who's, let's not forget the Red Sea, our territory, whose hair and characters are perfectly Semitic. Yeah. Okay, so let me just continue.
What do they mean by that? By the hair? What do they mean by the hair is?
Whose hair and character are black and kinky. Oh, by the way, black and kinky, black and woolly. Okay, and the white color in the brutalized descendants of certain Irish of Ulster, whose features are almost of the African type.
Wow.
Yeah. This is you know, we you know, because we're everywhere, but you see in previously how we read how the Queen kicked us out of Ireland. You know. So anyway, this is stuff talking about the Phoenician race, how they have an African look. Well, we know that because they are the Moors. But this is good to know. The book I got, it's not just another resource called The Races of Men, Robert Knox. This you can download online. So The Races of Men, Robert Knox. I got this on page 13. And of course, a more recent book, The History of the Black Man Before Slavery. You can write that one down too. Page 1991. Talk about the Jews in Ghana. Just other resources for you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, now this one, this is the one. Remember I told you that in the Talmud they tell you specifically that that the Jews left Israel and went to Africa. This is actually a letter, and I told you that the Talmud is written by Jewish sages, just like where my phone is, just like 10:30. It's over an hour. Get back to what you're saying, Chloe. So I told you that in the Talmud, it's like the Jewish sages write their holy writings, like in the Bible, the prophets write their holy writings, right? You know. So here they're telling you that the tribes, they settle over by the rivers of Cush. This is a letter that the Israelites from Africa went to Jerusalem, where they left because they were exiled. Here is a letter from one of the Jewish sages that's in the Talmud, one of the Jewish holy revered sages, being sent, this is proof, they sent a letter to the Jews in Africa asking them to come back to Jerusalem to teach them Judaism. And this letter is in the Talmud. And this is Vilan Goan. Vilan Goan is the name of the sage, the revered sage in Judaism, and his students sent a letter to the tribe of Dan that were in Africa, asking them to come back. And here is a copy of it. It's in Hebrew and English. And it says, so I'm just going to read it. Vilna Goan, student's letter to the dispersed tribes of Israel in West Africa. The students of one of the European Jews' greatest sages, Vilna Goan, were seeking out the Jews, and I quote, in the land beyond the rivers of Nabia, Cush, West Africa, where the Israelites were, and I quote, constantly involved in Torah studies, asking teachers to come to Jerusalem to teach the European converts.
Mm.
And there it is.
And we went too.
Oh,
What
boy.
else do we do?
Wow. Wow.
And so I would like to thank Zion Lex, Adviel Ben Levi, who is like off the hook. He's always debating that's Zion Lex. So you may want to write his name down just for the heck of it. He's got a YouTube channel, Facebook. Adviel Ben Levi. So you want to check out, I'm going to give him kudos. So I'm going to go through real fast here. So here we're going to go through the art. Woo! Part A. Part B is easier because it's just pictures, no reading. Okay. So here I actually showed this image before. This is from the book Views of the Biblical World. Notice the black people. This is actually about Jews, but nobody pay attention that they're black people. Here we got pictures, the historical history of the Jews, the Jewish people. I got the book. Can you guys see the book? I don't know if you can see me. Anyway, I got the book.
Okay.
And so those are some pictures. It's heavy, but I brought it with me. So here you have, I told you that we actually ruled Europe for like hundreds of years. And this is the second story of a building. And this is very common, I understand, that the statues are in the second story buildings in Germany. And here we have the Negroes. And here in Switzerland,
Wow.
and then we have the Moors, and up to this day, they have a festival of Moors. And you see these white people paint their face black. Yeah. Yeah. But this is part of their history. This is part of their Moorish history. So it's a celebration. We don't have stuff like that in America, do we?
No.
No.
But they're celebrating their history. They know their history. There you go. That's a trip, right? Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, hold on. Okay, okay, here. So this is 4 minutes. You cannot see this, you cannot hear this video as you have told me, but I am going to just show you some of this is Christ figures and religious figures. I'm gonna stop it like 1 minute in, but you guys can, just to give you an idea. That's the black Christ and stuff they were showing you.
So that was Catholics right there just showed. Wow.
There is the Black Christ in the corner painting. Okay. So I just wanted to like give you a little flavor.
Are you trying to make me cry in front of everybody?
This one, do you know, have any of you guys ever heard where they say, well, King James is black?
No, never. This is the first time ever.
Really?
They
Yeah.
say, I mean, they normally say this is a fake one. This is just
Yeah,
Photoshop.
they always a fake one. Well, I'll tell you where this is. This is actually in Edinburgh, in the United Kingdom. It's in the New College Library.
I definitely would put that down.
Yeah, so nobody made that up. It's actually in the New College Library in Edinburgh, in the United Kingdom. And that's where this image comes from.
Got my head going.
This is from a synagogue.
Ooh.
I remember in Dura, and I couldn't remember Dura where, so I left it blank. But this is a mosaic tile showing Abraham and the sacrifice of Isaac. That's the lamb right here. That's carrying the wood, Abraham. And in a Jewish synagogue, and here, of course, they're blacks. And this is my last slide. And this is to show you the things that we have to come against to find materials about being black and being Israelite. Because here you have a young man and he has a series of books, and he copies these things that he finds. So he writes the art of the ancient Black Hebrews. So you're looking at images. Look how much Amazon is selling his book for. It's just this little book. The brother is trying to do stuff, man. He has he does a set of these things. Look, you see that? That's the attack of what we still have to go through, you know? So, like that. So thank you guys for participating. Any last words before we close out?